Hi everyone, I'm George Jackson, executive producer and host of GovExec TV. Today's 5 questions are with Rich Lavers. He is Deputy Commissioner in New Hampshire's Office of Employment Security. Sir, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. We really appreciate it.
So, trends in your line of work. Talk about some of your key areas of focus right now relative to information technology.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people in my space and government space that were involved in the unemployment program during the pandemic, it's something that they're still living, right, to this day, because it was such a traumatic experience. What we're trying to do in New Hampshire is better prepare for the next increase in unemployment benefits, and such a critical program that people hope they never have to utilize, but when they need it, it is very important in getting them to that next job. So we're looking at improving our process, improving the technology that we're currently utilizing to both improve that customer experience, but also to improve the experience of our staff and the technology that they're able to use, and the programs and products that they can be associated with and hopefully be really proud of.
We were talking before we went on the air here, Rich, about a few areas where that is happening specifically right now. You know, your journey to cloud adoption, the 2 places that you called out, adjudication assistant and unemployment, just, you know, simply getting people back to work. Could you kind of peel both of those apart for me and talk about how the cloud, how artificial intelligence is tied to the work you're doing there?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, with the work we do in the unemployment program, it's one of those, being a public sector person, you know, a lot of what we do is inherently not profitable, but it's critical.
Yeah.
And the unemployment program is a prime example of that. People that we deal with, they've experienced that bump in their professional life, unexpectedly dealing with job loss. Right now, what happens in states throughout the country, you've determined the questions that you need to ask. You're going to determine whether or not that person is eligible for unemployment benefits, but it's not personalized. If anything, it's leading to a difficult experience for that individual. So someone feels like the whole world has abandoned them, right? They've lost their job, they lost that professional interaction, and they come in and their experience is a set of questions that have nothing to do with them, that they feel aren't relevant to their situation. So we're going to flip that on its head. In New Hampshire, what we've been working on with Google is personalizing that experience. So right when you come in and file that claim for unemployment benefits, rather than feed you up a bunch of drop-down menus and then give you some predetermined questions that feed off those drop-down selections, we're simply going to leverage the power of Gemini AI, and we're going to ask you to tell us about what happened when you lost your job. You can tell us as much as you want, as little as you want. And then through our great team of people that we have in New Hampshire that are subject matter experts, they're going to have trained the Gemini model in a closed AI fashion. So we're controlling against any potential hallucination. We're making sure that it knows and only knows New Hampshire law, rule, and policy. And then we're going to ask you real-time questions about your experience with losing your job right away. So it's not going to be a bunch of questions that you can kind of see, oh, I see why they're asking me this. No, it's going to be about your experience. We're going to do that with the customer who's coming in to look for unemployment benefits. We're going to do that with the employer as well, with the information that we need to get from the employer. So we hope that we can ask fewer questions, or at least as few a number of questions as needed in order to get the information that we need. We're going to be as transparent as we can, so customers know that they're engaging with AI right out of the gate. And then our staff are going to be able to see the power of AI through bringing that human being back into the loop to really use their brain, evaluate the information that AI has been able to gather from that customer, and then determine whether or not they're eligible for unemployment.
How does New Hampshire grade its efforts there? You know, CX or citizen experience, customer experience, difficult to track sometimes. What kind of metrics do you look at? Like, what are the, I don't know, checkpoints along the way that you want to meet in order to move that particular ball upfield?
Yeah, a great question there. I think from a kind of looking at how we're doing in New Hampshire, we're very proud of the fact that we have one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country. So we've been able to continue to grow our labor force post-pandemic in ways that other states in the Northeast have not been able to do. So New Hampshire is somewhat of an outlier in that respect. We managed to help people get back to work when they need to utilize the unemployment program. We have one of the shortest durations on unemployment benefits in the country. So people in New Hampshire, they come in, they're qualified, they have a qualifying job loss. You can file for unemployment benefits up to 26 weeks, which is pretty common, a common amount of maximum time from state to state. But in New Hampshire, people are on average using about 12 weeks. So we're doing a good job of getting those people back connected with their employers. At least we think we are, based upon kind of the old metrics, right, of everyone using older technology. But I think when we start to look at the power of AI and not just the power of being able to gather information in a more personalized way at the front end, but also being able to better connect people with opportunities during that life cycle of being a customer of ours, and connecting them with relevant job opportunities, relevant training opportunities, I think we're going to see that duration go down, and I think we're going to see a happier public because they feel like the process really understands them, really gets them, and right out of the gate they're going to have that experience, and I think we're going to see that duration go down. And certainly with our staff, that public sector people pride themselves on how hard they work, but without the right technology, without a good process, you can be really working hard, but with a process or a product that is not something that you can be very proud of. So we're trying to continue to improve that product, continue to improve that service that we're providing to the public, to again remind people of how critical a service it is that folks in government are providing. Very important for when you need it. You want it to be a top-notch experience. You want to have the same experience when you come in and utilize the unemployment program. You want to have a similar experience as the type of experience you have when you interact with your bank, your credit card. So many other experiences are leveraging top cutting-edge technology that if government doesn't start doing that on programs that aren't profitable but are critical, that the ability to have a satisfied customer is going to get more elusive. So adopting this technology, bringing it in so that people can understand that this is a critical government program that we're investing in, and we're making sure that can provide them a top quality service is our goal.
For our audience's benefit, Rich, let's get the competitive juices flowing here for a moment. If I'm an employment security professional and I want to come after your crown for that lowest unemployment rate in the country by improving CX, give them, a sense of maybe a challenge or two you had to address to get there, because it sounds to me like, your office is taking a really proactive approach associated with this issue. What challenges should they anticipate if they want to go down the same road?
Well, one of the problems for my colleagues in other states, for them in trying to compete with New Hampshire, is they don't have the people that I have. So unfortunately for them, I have a great group of subject matter experts. I got my bureau director for unemployment, Michael Burke. Guy's top notch. Probably most of the country would love for him to be leading their unemployment program. We have him right there in New Hampshire. So I got great people that aren't afraid of technology. So we are able to package that and be able to show them opportunities for improving a process that they all agree is critical, or else they wouldn't be doing the work, right? They're passionate about the work and they want to deliver a better service, a better product. Giving those people the opportunity to improve that product using cutting edge technology not only is going to continue to improve that customer experience in New Hampshire, which customer service in New Hampshire is critically important. Small state, but just because you're a small state doesn't mean you're going to nail customer service. but doing it in a way that the people that are delivering customer service, they see the technology that they're using, they're proud of the product that they're delivering, they want to come to work, and I'm able to retain and not only attract but retain the best and the brightest to see the value of doing that work in the public sector and helping those other folks that are neighbors, friends, family in the state of New Hampshire.
Give our audience, as we come to a close here, Rich, a sense of what's on or what's just over the horizon for your adoption of technology in the Office of Employment Security. What are you looking to take on next? Break some news for us if you want. What's coming up?
Yeah, so right now we're in development stages with our adjudication assistants going really well. Couldn't be more proud of that. But what that has allowed us to get eyes into is other ways that we can be improving that customer experience, the whole life cycle of how someone engages with employment security, from initially filing that unemployment claim all the way to finding that next great job. So we've got some great opportunities within that whole life cycle to be improving that experience, whether it's just how you go about navigating the resources on my website, improving that so you don't have to know the secret handshake to find that critical information that you need right at that point, to finding information on the unemployment program, that some question that you might have with regard to, hey, do I need to report this on my weekly claim? And do I always have to go and call a call center in order to get that information? Most people don't want to do that. They want to be able to find the information within the system. So giving them that capability, and then also in a personalized way, connecting you with training and job opportunities that will continue to grow, not only grow the New Hampshire labor force, but grow it in the right direction, meaning those jobs that are in highest demand, that are critical for the continued growth of New Hampshire's labor force, so we can continue to be that outlier in the Northeast. I think a lot of projects that we have lined up that we are excited about, I think that are only going to get our customers even more excited and hopefully satisfied when they come in and need to utilize that program.
A lot of excitement coming out of New Hampshire's Office of Employment Security. Rich Lavers, thanks so much, sir.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity.
And thank you, audience, for tuning in. That was today's 5 questions. For GovExec TV, I'm George Jackson. Have a great day.